a large part of my inspiration was from my experience being a caregiver for many years with my dad. He was in an auto accident and had a pretty severe injury and was in wheelchairs of many kinds. And so working through that situation with my mom was pretty complex and opened my eyes a lot to disability issues and certainly design issues in terms of chairs. And I think that really laid the framework for where I'm at now. That was a big influence. Second to that, I was working with individuals with disabilities in dance and starting to explore, a lot of them were in wheelchairs in this case, and really trying to explore, you know, what are the capacities of the chairs to support their movement. So that experience, choreography and dance and movement expression, as well as my personal caregiving experience really contributed, or the main contributions to it.
Was your dad at all interested in dance, or was it more along the lines of him kind of fostering your love of dance?
He and my mom actually were huge dance advocates, and they did dance around, and they actually like to dance to Soul Train, I've been told, and so, but they would come to all the performances and things like that. And I actually did, as a young child, was sort of, I loved to, you know, my dad and I would dance together, you know, just for fun, and he would try things, he would lift me up and things like that, so it was really fun. And that was up until, it was when I was 12 when the accident happened, so then that connectivity changed at that point.
Did he lose, you know, obviously not the love for dance, but did he lose the ability to then dance, you know, because of the...
Yeah, absolutely.
Did that factor into, you know, your decision to do this, to create this chair?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially my mom is also a huge influence in the development of this project, because she's also a visual artist and, you know, very creative, and both of us, but, you know, I was young, so she kept trying new things and new ways to get his body to move, to sort of get his brain to respond to things. She would do visual art activities with him. We often taught him movement through song, through rhythm, and if he could learn something rhythmic, then he could retain movement information. So we were always trying things, and my mom, as a caregiver, I mean, this was her husband, and they had been married, you know, for quite some time before the accident happened, and so, you know, she wanted to find ways of not being separate from him, but reconnecting with him. And that was through being creative with, okay, how do we navigate through this chair now, you know, through the chair that's now part of the whole interaction piece. And so, yeah, can we still dance together, you know, how does that happen? So, and it's definitely possible, and I think it's important for people to know that whatever the disability issue is, or temporary injury, permanent injury, whatever it might be, that there are ways of moving through that trauma, even though it can be very devastating and you can feel like there's no options. Absolutely, and there's lots of challenges, but that people become aware of, you know what, I can begin to re-explore my body in a new way. And so that's, you know, for me, a big motivation to move that direction and figure out how can we develop innovations and use our creativity to help people move through trauma in a more successful and healthy way. I will say that time juggling has been a challenge, because I do teach and also serve as the advisor, and also then do this research. And it's not just this research. I work with physical therapy and do a dance wellness program and other things. I have a lot of interdisciplinary interests. So trying to do all of those things is not very feasible. And I'd like to be in a position in which it was easier to manage that, especially since this is really a project that I could donate more time to. I'm getting a lot of feedback from, you know, emails and things, and I'm trying to follow up, and I'd like to be able to be in a position in which it was easier to do that. So, you know, estimation of time, it's really hard to estimate hours. It's a constant. It's just a constant flow. There's interacting with, you know, right now I have a grant in, a PVA grant, a Paralyzed Veterans of America grant in, and sort of waiting to see if I get that grant in order to do some refinements on the chair. Should know that in December. So, you know, putting that grant together, you know, all that, you know, takes a lot of time. Then there's the piece of responding to people who are interested, families, etc. And then there's obviously the media piece, trying to make sure that you're responding to those kinds of things. And so being, you know, publicist and all the, you know, all the different aspects of it, and then trying to create choreography, you know, at the same time. It's a lot of, there's so many aspects just to this project that require a lot of time.